What's up, bro?
I'm doing good. Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate
Dude, I'm
it.
excited, man. So Craig was on the podcast a couple episodes ago, and we were talking, and he's like, yeah, man, you know, he knew you, and I was like, oh, man, I got to get him on. He's like, man, that'd be a good time. So glad to have you, man.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
Well, man, let's just jump right into it. So everyone knows your business, but like let's get to know you. Kind of take me back and tell me how you got into all this stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, I grew up on a rice farm and a crawfish farm in Arnaudville, Louisiana, and for people who don't know where that's at, it's kind of north of Brew Bridge area, so it's in the 337 area. And I grew up farming and went to college, graduated in LSU 04. All I knew what to do was to farm.
Is that what you went to college for too?
Well, I graduated in biology, pre-med.
Okay.
But I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I graduated in that. And then I moved back home. I started farming. I did that from 2005 to about 5 years ago. And, you know, crawfish and rice. So I've been around that. We've been doing this forever, you know. And you know, we had a few things happen on the farm that with other family members involved. I didn't really see a really good path for me, and I always was a cook, liked to entertain. So I had a bright idea of opening up a crawfish place, and people ask me all the time, how'd you end up in Shreveport?
That's what I was
3
gonna say,
hours
yeah.
away? And the answer is, I still don't even know how that happened. But listen, I had a really good buddy, John David Lyles. He's from this area, and he said, man, you need to come to Shreveport. And I said, well, what's in Shreveport? So I drove up one day because I'd never been. And I said, look at the people over here. I couldn't believe it. So I started, looking at Wikipedia and trying to see, statistics or what do you call it, population stuff. And I said, this place is huge. Then I also realized there was 43 places that did crawfish in Shreveport, Bossier. So that was a good sign to me. That means people eat it, but I didn't know if they ate it like down south. And I was kind of skeptical. And John David said, I told you, I'm telling you, man, come. So I came, and, it was hard to find a spot, but rode around for 3 or 4 days, came up on a gas station on Uri. I said, this would be cool. I could turn this car wash into a crawfish shack. And then I can use the retail part of the gas station to move some crawfish. So we did it. We jumped in, and I didn't know what it was going to do. And it was a lonely night that first night. I sold 3 sacks of crawfish the first night. I said, oh, I might have made a mistake. But nobody knew who we were.
Yeah.
And then you fast forward now, and we're on our 3rd location. So it's going really good, and I cannot believe how many people actually eat crawfish over here. It seems like it's more than South Louisiana. They love it.
I feel like it is, man. Look, and that's no dig on South Louisiana, but maybe it's just been in South Louisiana so long. Like, I don't even know how long we've been eating crawfish up here. Like, I'm curious. Can you look at that, find that out? If that's even, we can look, something. But it can't be that long, like compared to South Louisiana.
So I think Mr. Shaver, the Shavers, was the first guy that really came down here with a presence. That was like 1985.
So about that,
super nice guy. He came talk to me the first year we opened.
So we're talking 40 years.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's that much.
Grew in North Louisiana around the 60s and 70s. So I think that's why it's still so, you know what I mean? It's like still new to us, even though it's not, but it is, maybe.
Well, it wasn't really that popular. I say not popular. It wasn't as predominant in South Louisiana as it is now, only because they figured out a way to make crawfish, growing crawfish, work into the rice rotation, which is the rice areas which grow. Besides the wild crawfish in the Chaffalot Basin, they probably grow 50%, no, more than that, probably 80% of the crawfish in these rice fields now. And they figured out, hey, after rice season, we cut our rice, we can go drop these crawfish in here, and they have all winter to do their thing, make more of them. We all know how that goes, right? Yeah. So the crawfish do their thing, and then they can fish them starting in January, and then the season ends in May, or they stretch it to June, but they pull out the traps, and they can plant another crop of rice. So it worked in good with the rotation. Once they figured that out in the 60s, that's when the production really got started.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I do think it's always been a thing growing up here. Like, that's whenever everyone's talking about it. Back in the day, it was like crawfish holes about up, we're way over here. We're in this other part, of North Louisiana. They're like, oh, crawfish holes got crawfish now, or whatever. Now we got Bojack's down there. You guys like all these companies down here doing it. But like, it was always a big deal hitting crawfish, and everybody's having crawfish bowls on the weekend.
Oh, they love it, man. I was surprised, and it's a good thing, and it's fun. And I love the people over here because even though it's really different, the culture's totally different. I dig it, man. Like, the people over here are hilarious. I mean, and there's so many different cultures. I guess, I don't know if it's because of the Air Force Base or what, but I know anytime I come over here, we're going to have a good time with the customers and something wild will happen.
Dude, y'all, so
it's going to happen.
I was going to bring that up. Y'all have the most entertaining damn Facebook, bro.
Well, I can't speak on who runs that. I really don't know. So I might just plead the fifth on that
Yeah,
one.
but I mean, I think it's just the fact that it just seems to be that you're just honest and you're trying to run a business, you know, and then and I think you're just reaching so many people that you're going to have some wild shit happen. You know what I mean?
And listen, it's true. And so, sometimes it gets a little rough, you know? We have people from all walks of life, this and that. But the one thing I told myself when I opened up this company is I'm just going to be myself. And that's, you know, and I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I run a Facebook page. I mean, I'm blowing my cover here. But listen, that's how we talk down south.
Well, yeah, you're just being real. I mean,
people try to say you're talking like that to cater to people. I'm just talking and I'll just, you know, I'll put some stuff that's not even related to crawfish just because I just sometimes I just vent on there, you know. But listen, we cut up on there. We have a good time. And the day that comes that people tell me that I'm not being professional the way I run my social media, they can just go somewhere else. Yeah. You know, because that's one of the most important things to me. I can do this. I like doing this. I like to cook, but I like to see people happy with a product. You know, that is something that's real important to me. They're happy with the product. They're happy with the service. You know, and we're going to have issues. We had a few issues last year, but we passed 135,000 cars. So there's going to be some problems.
Exactly, man.
You know?
Yeah, the 0.5%.
But listen, and we had a little incident last year. We could have handled things better, but we made some adjustments. But we're a little rowdy too sometimes, you know. Well, whatever. You know, it's going good.
Yeah. Well, so did you ever think?
No.
Did you ever think even just coming up here and opening that, did you ever think it would turn? Because your brand is just skyrocketed, and it seems like it's just all organic.
Yeah, look, I just think there's a bunch of there's more than one thing that goes into it. I think number one is with the society we have today, it's instant gratification. They want their shit now. Yeah, and they want it fast, and they want it. You know, with people, you know, with a smile on their face, giving it to you. So what we decided to do is there's about 10 links in the chain from the time that we get our crawfish and we clean them and we deliver them and we rewash them. There's not a lot of people that rewash their crawfish. We washed crawfish before we serve them. And we boil. I think we do a good job of boiling, but you know, I'm a little biased on that, but I think we do a good job. And we put it in packaging that nobody, you know, is willing to spend the time and effort and money. It's expensive for those boxes, but it's really efficient. It won't leak into people's cars and this and that. So all the way down to the packaging and the service. The last thing is we can run a car in 34 seconds. Every 34 seconds, a car's gone, regardless of size or order. So we're trying to get that number down to 28 or 29 seconds. That's insane, so if you pull up and you 10 cars behind, you go to a regular place, man, that's 20 minutes. Yeah. That's 30 minutes. Yeah. So at our place, it can be 4 minutes, 3 minutes, you know? So we understand that people are busy. They want to be gratified right away. And that's just the way it is now, you know? And that's very challenging. So we knew from the beginning to what kind of crawfish do we get? How do we get them here? Do we run out of crawfish on a Saturday at 5 o'clock and throw hands up? Oh shit, we sold out. This is a great day. No, it's a terrible day. We don't want to run out because now you have customers coming in and they're mad, they're not mad, but they're kind of upset because you ran out. It's inevitable sometimes in the beginning of the season or the end of the season whenever supplies aren't the same. But it's nothing for us to see what's coming, and we'll run a second truck from Opelousas area. And my farm, we'll run another truck right away, burning rubber the whole way. And I'll send a third truck if we have to, because we don't sleep. So there's all those things. I think it's attention to detail. And we've done that. I've got a really good, at the first location, a really good landlord. And he works with me as far as giving me a good contract, a long enough contract to where I can really invest. And then the second place on Mansfield Road, we purchased that. And then the one we just purchased a few months ago in Bossier, we purchased that one. So
a lot of people don't know about that yet too. So if you want to shed some light on that, and let everybody know what's coming.
I don't know if I should because some people might be mad. I know DOT wasn't happy. So I bought a place from Mr. Craig Foundrin, super nice guy. We were just going through the weeds looking for a place because I need a place with space to hold cars. I need space, and it's hard to find in these good areas. That Mansfield Road or Uri Drive, or where this new location is on Airline. So listen, we found this place and negotiated with Mr. Craig. He was a super nice guy. We ended up getting it. So it's 1970, Airline Drive in Bossier. Gas station just south of the railroad tracks. Yay. But we had a few issues with permitting and this and that because they were concerned about the traffic. But I kind of laid out my case for us being able to mitigate the amount of traffic that we have because we were so fast.
Yeah, that makes a big difference because if they're looking at a study from like even a McDonald's, right, or a Taco Bell. We're talking a different story here.
Right. Well, yeah, and the point that they were making, which is valid, even though you can move them out, is there space to put them in the highway? So that's another angle to look at it. And we came up with a plan that was sufficient for everybody, and we will do the best we can to move traffic. And the Chick-fil-A as good as they can't mess with us. Yeah, I mean we're faster than Chick-fil-A, so we're gonna do our part to make sure that traffic doesn't get. And then after this year, if there are more issues, we'll do anything we can construction-wise or whatever we can do in our organization to be faster because we don't stop. So, the new place on Bossier, I'm looking forward. That's going to be open probably February 1st. Nice. And the other location's usually mid-January, but we need to get the other two up and running with no problems, get any little kinks out for the beginning of the year before we move on to the third one.
I'm curious, how fast is Chick-fil-A's line? How fast they turning orders, Josh? Can you see?
Oh, I'm sure AI knows.
I know. We got to figure
if it's less than 34,
you said it, I want to know. I don't think it is, bro. I think you got them beat. But I want to know. Just because you said it, and I'm just like, I want to know. Chick-fil-A, what would it be, like order turnover?
I would say order turnover.
Time? No, that's the amount. 123 seconds. Yeah, bro, you got them beat by a minute and a half.
There you go. You see,
you heard it here.
It's amazing what happens when you take a window, which is a traditional way of serving. I don't care if you go to Raising Cane's, you have a window. Well, and you have one place where they take an order at the little sign or whatever. Well, you have an opportunity only at those two spots to get stuff done, especially delivery. You're bottlenecked by delivery out of one window. Why would you do that? I mean, maybe they know something. I don't know. All I know is I have girls that go out there, 3 or 4, with little. They're not iPads. They're little POS system deals, and I've got 3 or 4 that are not only taking orders, so it's going 4 times as fast as a car sitting at a little deal, and then whenever they catch up with orders, they go back in and they're running the boxes of crawfish out to the cars.
So there's no disconnect.
Well, not only is there no disconnect, if you got 4 girls bringing, or two girls constantly bringing out, that's twice as fast as a traditional window. Yeah. And I can't believe I'm spilling all this information, but but it is what I mean. It's not rocket science. I just think it takes a lot of effort, because when it's 40 degrees outside, these girls don't want to do that. Yeah. But they do. We pay them well, and they do an awesome job, and they know the importance of keeping the cars out the road. And we do that as best as we can, but there's always about 8 or 10 days out the year. Now, no matter what I do, the line's going to be a mile long because it's a high demand day, whether it be Good Friday or the opening 2 or 3 days is always wild, and Mother's Day. But no, we're excited. I just want everybody to know those days the traffic's bad. That we doing the best we can. But like I said, I think the most important thing for our business to be successful, which it has been, and to blow up like it has, is that we pay attention to every single link in the chain. You have one link that's not so good, well, the whole thing is not so good.
Yeah, for sure.
So we concentrate on that, on just attention to detail at every single step.
What made you make the choice? Because when I saw your company come to life from afar, just from being a marketing professional, like this is what I do every day, I was just like, this is genius. The name's great. How'd you come up with the name?
I love that.
Let's go.
I have so we were forming. I had picked up a farm, a rice and crawfish farm in a place called Prairie Rome, Louisiana. And yeah, I know nobody knows where that's at, but it's by Opelousas, okay, out in the country. And there was a guy named Chris Bertrand, who's still a friend of mine to this day. And he was a tenant farmer on there, and he was doing the crawfishing. And one day I was, talking to him, and, became friends. And he ended up working a little while with us on the farm. And he ended up going doing his own thing after that. But one day a neighbor said, man, I hadn't seen Rubba Boot in a while. I said, what? He said, Chris Bertrand. The reason he got a nickname, Rubba Boot, and it's, of course, guys, it's rubber boot, but we say Rubba Boot, right? And I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, yeah. He said when he'd go to school in the morning, he'd go crawfish at 3 o'clock in the morning with lights on his boat in high school. And he would go to school. First thing he would do, he'd take off his rubber boots. So he got the nickname Rubba Boot because he would crawfish all the time. So he said, man, you need to buy some Rubba Boots crawfish one day. I said, Rubba Boots crawfish? Yeah, Chris Bertrand's crawfish. And it clicked. I was like, Rubba Boot crawfish.
Yeah.
Because it's shaped like a boot, like Louisiana. And it's first thing you do when you go crawfish, you put on your damn rubber boots.
Yeah.
And so that's how that came about. And to this day, he still jokes with me. He says he wants some royalty.
Yeah,
I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So,
yeah, that's great. Well, and then I saw the name and I was like, that's genius. And then I saw the packaging, and I was like, this is like, what made you make that decision? Because most people, you're running a high volume item, right? So most of the time when people are running a high volume item, they're not hung up in what it goes in. They're just worried about getting it out. So like, what made you make that decision?
Well, I think that's a good question. So I've got a good friend of mine who's in the produce business, and he uses a lot of boxes. And he and I, kind of came up. Well, he had come up with the idea, but we kind of tweaked it together, and we realized that even though it's very expensive. I mean, I'm not. Oh, I know. I mean, I know what packaging is. It's probably 70, 80 cents more than traditional packaging in the bag and all that. But when I would go pick up crawfish, because sometimes I'm tired, I don't feel like boiling crawfish. I'll just go pick them. There's a bunch of little places around my house. You get home, you take the bag, you gotta get a big ass tray, you gotta dump it in there, then you gotta get another tray to throw the heads in, and then you left with all the mess. Then you gotta dump it, comme ça, like that, in the trash can, and it's a mess. And then you better hope that something doesn't tumble on your seat, and then you got crawfish juice all over. So with this box, not only do you eliminate all the issues as far as in transportation to your house, when you get home, you take the top off, you eat, you throw the heads directly in the top. When you're done, you throw it in the line bottom, close it up, and you throw it away. Yeah. And that's it. And if people have leftovers, guess what they do? They have a stackable box they just put in the refrigerator, and they can eat the rest later. So, and of course it has the logo on the top, so people are happy. They see it, they take a picture of the box with the crawfish, and guess what's on that? My label, my everything. Yeah. My Facebook page, QR code.
When I saw it, I was immediately like, this is what the fuck you're supposed to do when you market.
Yeah. I mean, look, but there's another challenge that comes with using the boxes. And it costs money not only for the boxes, but it costs to make them. It probably takes about, one of our workers 15, 20 seconds to fold it up and put the little plastic liner and all that. It takes time. But the biggest thing it takes that people don't realize is, well, we're moving through a lot of volume now. Sometimes we might go through over 1,000 boxes. So you have to have these boxes pre-made before service starts, and you have to stack them. Well, go stack 1,500 boxes and tell me that shit don't take up some room.
Yeah.
I may take up this room twice over. So you have to have space to operate. So it costs a lot of money not only to do the boxes, but the cost of the box, and you need space. So it's a lot, but shit, I ain't putting it in a bag. I'm telling you, I'm not doing it. You know, I just and here's another thing. When we go say somebody orders 5 orders, try to take 5 or 6 bags out. You can stack the boxes.
And what's your average order? Like 5-10 pounds or?
Man, that's a good question. I'm gonna do an educated guess on this one because I never did the math on it. But listen, crawfish are expensive.
Yeah.
And then with inflation, all that shit going on, the last 2-3 years, I've seen the order sizes go down. I just can't remember exactly what they were. But there's a lot more. We have a 3 and a 5 pound box, and I've seen a shift since we first opened up from a 5 pound to a 3 pound because it's expensive, man.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say, but you have a car come in getting 5 or 6 5 pounds, 10, you know, but I would say you see a car coming up. I would say probably 30-40% of those cars are getting a 3 pound.
Gotcha.
The other ones, usually 5 pounds is very popular. I mean, 5 pounds is perfect. I can eat about 6 or 7, 8 pounds, but normal person 5 pounds and they're good. But even 3 pounds, I mean, it's enough to get you your envie. I'm sorry, I'm using French words over here. Your envie is like your want.
Yeah.
To for the crawfish, it gets you to where you get your
craving.
taste.
Yeah, you taste so. Yeah,
a craving is envie. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd probably say about average because a lot of people do get the 3 pounds. It's probably about around the 4 to 5 pound range.
What's the most you think you've cooked in one day there? If you had to guess.
I don't have to guess because I know.
You know. What is it?
Yeah, 383 sacks.
And how many pounds is one stack? Like
about 32.
32.
So I don't know what that comes out
what's
to.
that math?
I'm not good at math. Hold on.
He's going to do it right here.
12,200.
12,000 pounds. Mm-hmm. So 6 tons. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And how many trucks is that? Like
I can look.
That's all in one truck?
Oh yeah. I can fit a lot on a truck, But listen, that's a day where, I buy from my farm, but also my good friend, he has his own crawfish plant. And people don't understand this, but crawfish, you get them, especially early in the season, they're going to die in a couple days. Mm-hmm. So the thing is people aren't likely to eat as much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as they will Thursday, and then more on Friday, and the shit hits the fan on Saturday, Sunday. So sometimes we get stuck as farmers and crawfish plants that are stuck with all these crawfish and don't have nowhere to go with them. We get in that position sometimes. So every once in a while, I'll just run a sale.
I got you.
A crazy sale.
I'm not flash sale. You try to get rid of them so you don't lose your money.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
So that's when you'll see those bumps.
Got
like
you.
that.
Yeah.
And then we run little specials.
We're not talking about high end profit day. We're just talking about running out.
We're just moving the product and then getting new customers. They get to come try us. So that's how that goes right there.
That's man. Well, so how did you before all of this like business mind and all this, and where did this all come from? Is this all like trial and error or like?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I grew up on a farm, so my family farms a lot of land over there, and I credit them with showing me work ethic because let me tell you, partner, we used to work a lot. Okay, so I think a lot of it is effort, but. I did learn a lot. Look, I was a biology major. I think I credit that to kind of learning how to see a problem and understanding that it's not as simple as this. In other words, you take a test and A is this, B is this, C is correct, but D is correct too. Well, which one's more correct, kind of thing. So you kind of got to attack it from other angles. And I just think I had a really good background. I had family members show me, how to do accounting on my own. So I'm not an accountant, but I do understand balance sheets and expenses and how to kind of categorize all that. I think it would just come down to grinding You know, we would just grind. You know, but as far as the business sense, I don't know. I just think the way I grew up had a lot to do with me kind of learning. And it's not like, hey, this is my expenses and this is what you know my income. It doesn't work like that. You know, because you don't know what this income is going to be. So I just think we didn't try to grow too fast. Had the first 3 years where we just had a first location and we dialed it in before we moved on to the second one. Because, you know, I think a lot of people, especially in retail, try to take that jump a little too early before that first one is really dialed in.
What year did you open?
2021.
Yeah, okay. So it was like right post COVID.
It was.
Which is perfect for
a drive-through.
Yes, because dude, holy shit, look what happened. Look what happened across the map. Like to full service. Like it just went and then so most people didn't bounce back from it. You know what I mean? I mean, how many restaurants are never going to be out of existence anymore because they didn't make that shift or they couldn't, you know, or whatever.
Right. And I watched I think it was on Netflix. I don't know. My wife made me watch it. It was the Todd Graves story with the chicken fingers.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, know what you do good, and don't keep adding stuff on the menu. Do what you do good, and if you simplify things, and you get the speed going, and you do a good fucking job on just what you do. Let people come and say, hey, y'all need to start doing king crabs. That's just going to slow everything down.
Yeah.
Let's stick to what we do. And if we feel the need to add later, we will. But I just think that's a big thing. And especially, it kind of reaffirmed it. You know, I don't know anything like Todd Graves knows. I mean, look, come on. He's the man.
But he figured it out.
But what he figured it out.
And you don't, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, look at all this. You have like Raising Cane's, Chick-fil-A. I mean, yeah, Raising Cane's is a good example, I guess. And then you have like what In-N-Out. Like you have these places that just they stick to 2 or 3 things and roll it.
Yeah.
But the chicken finger thing was the best example.
Yeah. And listen, he's the Raising Cane's. I'm going to get chicken fingers. I'm going to Raising Cane's.
I mean,
and then I look at the price, and I'm like, why is this so expensive? Well, guess I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
because I pull up.
I want it,
and it's fast, and it tastes good.
Yep.
You know, so I think that's a good. I think that's a good thing that people in the future need to look at. You know, just do what you do. Don't get too complicated, because once you do that, you slow down service, and then you have waste. Your potential for waste is exponentially higher every time you add something else on the menu.
That's the biggest thing that people don't discuss in any type of e-commerce, but specifically in like restaurants, man. Like it just like the fact that there's everyone always wants something new and different, but like what it takes to make even adding one menu item, people don't understand. Like,
don't understand.
It would literally like. I mean, it's probably going to double your wait time, like, or triple your wait time, especially like figuring that out. But like, yeah, I mean, like, could you imagine like throwing in fucking something fried, like boudin balls or something? You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine doing that? Like,
well, we thought about doing that in the off season, and we're still looking hard
that's
at
cool.
it.
I mean, that's a good time.
But if you throw that in the mix, let me lose out on sales of 6 cores buying crawfish, because I'm waiting on a fucking boudin ball?
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're not doing that. Not doing that. And it's not all about profit. But it comes
the service too.
It comes down to the service and how quick we are. But let's not all act like a business can't make money. It's not a sin. If there's not money made if the company doesn't make money, how are things going to exist?
Yeah.
And then how are you going to expand?
Yeah.
You know. So I say a lot of people. I think a lot more people than I give credit understand that. But it's a real thing. It's a tangible thing, and I think it's something that I'm gonna always look at anytime I make a move.
Yeah, well, people, there's people that there's always gonna be a shit talker when it comes to someone doing something good, especially if it's like competition. That's the worst thing.
Listen. Can I expound on that?
Dude, I want you to, because I love this topic.
When I came over here the second year, people were bashing the shit out of Shane's crawfish. Just bashing, not left and right, and just I'm like, why are people on this guy's ass like this? And he's got 3 locations. He had 4 locations, whatever. And then they wanted me to participate in that. I'm like, I don't know this guy. All I know, he's got 3-4 locations, and he's doing pretty good. And next thing you know, he's got another location, and he never engaged in any of that. He just does his thing. And people were getting me, and I'm not gonna do that, right? I'm not gonna do that. I did have one guy that kind of started, coming like saying negative shit about me, a local guy doing crawfish, and it was so amateur, and here's the thing, it's bad for the industry.
Yeah.
I don't, so anyway, let me go back, because Shane's, they had things happen with a Mexican restaurant. I think it was Pepitos and this and that. And
I saw. I'm not too familiar with the scenario, but I saw.
And then people just take things for
people take things at face value.
They do, and then when they see success, they come at you even more.
Yeah.
So back to I had a situation where I had a little guy that was doing that and trying to antagonize me and this and that, and you know what? I realized that I just keep doing my thing, and I'm sure it's going to happen again. But I have to give credit to Shane's Seafood, even though I don't even know the guy, never been there, to see that how he operates. He just puts his head down, he goes to work, and that's what I'm going to do. And all I'm going to ever do is talk good about and send people to, if they're not satisfied with my product, hey, look, they got this place, they got this. And the worst thing anybody can do is attack somebody in the same industry, and it hasn't happened often, but it did happen.
That's a really good point, because you don't understand, like, what if I can't help you that one day? Like, here's the thing, like, there's been scenarios where someone needed something and I couldn't do it for them. Well, if I didn't have someone to send it to, then I literally just lost a relationship.
It's burning bridges.
That's a potential relationship now that I don't have.
And I want to mention two people right now that have, when the first day I came, not only welcomed me over here, but who have helped me in the past, and then I've helped them in return. And the one guy is Will at Chuck Wagon Crawfish, down the road from me, and then Larry P. He had a catering trailer for years, and they had a bunch of shit happen with the making it illegal for these trucks. They kind of enforced the law that was already there, so it kind of shut down a lot of the crawfish trucks, trailers, whatever you want to call them.
There was some technicalities there, right? Because
it was always on the books. It was never enforced.
Gotcha.
Something happened. They started enforcing it because they were dumping all this shit in the sewer, and then it would get clogged up with all the seasoning and this and that. But the biggest thing is, it wasn't like you have to be like screened in. They made it to where you have to have a commissary to go dump all your wastewater. They just made it. They just enforced the laws that made it difficult for them to. And I'm not pro or against. I don't know enough about it. I'm just saying they did that so these people had to move into brick and mortar places.
Got you.
But I wanted to mention those two guys because I didn't know anybody. When I came over here, I knew, guess how many people? 0. I didn't know anybody. And those two guys kind of helped me out with the lay of the land, and we help each other out now to this day.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what it's about.
And that's what it's about. Yeah, enough of these people who just talk shit and just try to, they just like, bro, just compete. Just compete and be. And
competition is good, man. If you don't have competition, you don't have a nice product. Because if I have a shit product, and nobody to compete with me, then I can just keep providing a shit product.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, it sharpens the knives
for sure. Like, I mean, what are we if we don't have someone to share it with and compete with and get better?
Yeah, and you're right. And sometimes they say if you remove. You remove revenue or profit from situations, you get laziness and you get, apathy, but it's just a healthy thing to have a lot of people working together, but in competition. Mm-hmm. It's better for everybody.
Yeah.
It just,
but not only that, but to be respectful of each other and everyone be able to operate. Like we have, like down here in this area, there's all types of businesses, but we have a cohesive togetherness when it comes to operations. Like, hey, if you need this, go down here. I like this guy. I know this guy. Like, we all know each other. We operate like a family.
That's how it should be.
But we're not technically we could all be in competition with each other. But at the same time, we understand that maybe somebody wants this product today. Maybe they want this one tomorrow. Maybe they want all of them. We're all going to work together. You know what I mean? And that's how a great community works.
Right. And listen, I wish reality reflected that.
Yeah, it doesn't. But
it doesn't.
Hey man,
but what else are you gonna do?
Hey,
you just gotta pick what road you want to go down, and and let the chips fall where they may. I welcome the competition. even the ones who have negative things to say. I'm not. I'm confident. I'm not worried. I just wish everybody could just know how to, conduct themselves and support each other, especially in something as competitive and big as this industry is.
Because there's still room to grow.
There is still room to grow.
There's still room to grow.
There's less people that are cooking every single day.
Exactly.
I mean, look, I didn't know what a restaurant was. I grew up in Leonville, Louisiana, and my mama would cook rice and gravy every single day. That's what we had. Mm-hmm. And I think, I'm sure in South Louisiana they cook a little more than over, but maybe not. I don't know. But all I know is people nowadays, no matter where you're from, they're cooking less and less, and they just pick shit up.
We're busier, which is crazy, right? We're busier. Our attention span is, no one has the, can we look that up, Josh? Like, I'm always wanting to look shit up, man. Sorry. But
no.
I want to, because I don't like to speak and not know what the fuck I'm talking about. But can we look at, yes. No, not that. That too. Average attention span. We'll look that up first. And then I want to see like a survey on the average American who cooks like over the past 10 years. Like, you see what I'm saying? Who's cooking at home still. Because that's got to, like, these numbers are important when we're having these conversations to me, because I like to put in perspective for people that don't really think about it. So 8 to 12 seconds is the average attention span, which is absolutely so.
In 2000.
So it's since 2000. Okay, so now our attention span is shorter than a goldfish.
Yeah,
which I believe right. It, but we've done that to ourselves, right? But okay, now how many people are still cooking at home versus let's just say let's say 20 years, because the internet kind of exploded, and then social media kind of exploded. What, 05, 06?
Yeah,
something like that. And then let's see here. So
increased slightly overall.
Wait, hold on. Data from late before shows a general historical decline in home cooking. Okay, but do we have a percentage decline? So pandemic kind of shook that up a little bit, right? So what does that say right there? Lockdowns, 70% of U.S. households were. Sorry, guys. I'm mumbling right now, but I'm trying to read.
I just think it's hard to decipher all this info and have a straight answer.
Yeah. But I guess my question is, okay, how many, let's do this. How many Americans eat out once a week? I mean, just weekly, like, or however we put that into. We can say daily, weekly, whatever. Okay, let's see here. 75%.
Jeez.
Weekly. Okay, so you have 75% of all Americans are eating out weekly. So what is it daily? Let's look at daily too, just because I want to see. And we'll get back to talking. Sorry, guys. 6% daily. Okay. But so 6%, which is still a huge amount of people if you look at population, right?
Yeah, but I think it's
probably more than that.
The potential to be higher for that because
it depends on what state we're talking about.
Well, listen, here's the thing too. That screws up statistics. Yeah. One person might pick up for 5 people.
Exactly.
So how do they know?
Yeah.
You know,
but we do know 75% eat out once a week. So we know that, right?
Well, yeah, and here's the thing too. Roles traditionally have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, women used to stay home. The wives used to stay home. The husband would work.
Right.
Well, that changed. You know, women felt more liberated, and they're starting to do
everyone's
their thing.
working.
Right. So not only did that happen, but now things are so different as far as, the income. I mean, you need dude, things are expensive. So now people are going, the wives are out more, the husband, and now they're busy. And then, so they get off at work at 5, or whoever picks up the kids, whatever. Well, you get home at 6 o'clock, 6:30. What, you going to start cooking a chicken parmesan?
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Know? So that's why I just think.
When we talk about competition, you have 75% of people eating out once a week. If they only have 1 or 2 places to choose from, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's a lot of compounding numbers there that we're not looking at and see.
Exactly.
That's a lot of people eating out. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of people eating out. That means there's plenty of room for, this whole topic was, there's plenty of room to grow, right?
Right.
And there's plenty of room to go around.
Yeah, and I think the service industry has gotten, since they've gotten keen on this, and a lot of places have become faster, they can do it for a lower price than they could do it before because they're so efficient. And when you compare that to the raw product at the store now that goes up every single day, maybe it's not as expensive anymore to eat out, to pick up, than it was to go get the raw stuff and spend 2 hours cooking it.
Yeah, because that's another thing. Your time, especially if you're a 2-income house and you're both working, you got kids and all that, and they got activities and this and that. You got to go to a soccer game or baseball game or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's no time. And then you have like, man, I just lost my train of thought.
Well, the extracurricular activities now.
Yes.
See, back in the day, hey, I had one choice: you go play basketball or football or run track or whatever. Now, you take one kid, they in 17 things.
Yeah.
So now you're not getting home till 7:30.
Yeah.
Right? Because people are spending all their money now taking their kids. I'm not saying everybody thinks that. Yeah, I am saying everybody thinks their kids can be in the NFL or Major League Baseball. But anyway, look, there's so much more extracurricular activities for the kids and this and that. So you staying out later. What you gonna do?
Yeah, and big box stores are closing down too, which is like big franchise.
Amazon.
Fast food. So like, can we look that up too? Wendy's just announced that they're closing a bunch of restaurants nationwide. Can we pull that up? There's an article I saw. Just the Wendy's shutting down restaurants. So like that's a problem, right? So like for the longest time they would put those areas like McDonald's, your burger, they're all going to be close to each other, all competing against each other, but they're in high traffic, high volume areas. So the question is like approximately 300 underperforming restaurants will be shut down this year. Okay, so what I'm getting at is there's a lot of local revitalization, like as far as small business, like what you're doing. Like if there's a big box crawfish, there's not. But if there was, like there's a lot of local people starting up businesses and proving more successful because the overhead's not there and they're able to operate and figure out and navigate.
Also, I think another thing to do with that is trying to find reliable labor nowadays.
So I'm glad you brought it up because it's something I probably needed to bring up. I wasn't thinking about, but yes, this absolutely. What's your strategy there? How do you do this? Well, one thing I will say before you, because you probably have a lot to say about it, is most people are not willing to pay what some people think they're worth, and that's a huge disconnect there too.
Yeah, I think initially, what I'm going to say is the way I look at it from a foundational standpoint is if you don't elevate the people around you with you. Mm-hmm. You're going to have constant, massive turnover, and you're going to have issues. And I kind of use that as that's my mentality. I'll raise up at it, and because once I have 3 or 4, I'm not going to sit here and be greedy. I want the companies to do well enough to where we can open up more locations and eventually get to where we want to get as a company. But I can do that by elevating the people. With me.
That's what I'm saying. Most people aren't willing to pay. Like they'll say, like even like in your industry, they're like, well, that's a cook. That's what cooks make.
I'm never gonna cap anybody like that.
Dude, why would you? Because if the way we operate like I haven't talked about this ever, I don't think on this, but on a marketing structure here in my business on a day to day, these guys make 50 to 70% of every single project, and most people aren't willing to give them that. I'm willing to front all the overhead and generate everything and make sure that we have a nice place to operate in and a good foundation. And if they're the ones doing their work, you pay them for it.
So yes, exactly.
And most people aren't willing to do that. They're just like, well, that's the rate. That's what I'm going to pay. Well, man.
Yeah. So listen, what's the average that restaurants will pay a server? They're only liable to pay what minimum wage is.
Yeah.
So they'll pay $2.50,
and then they'll just say you need to wait better,
Right. Well, and if there's a shitty day, what you gonna do? You can't even pay your gas. Mm-hmm. I mean, shit's $4 now. Whatever. So what I'm not gonna say what I pay, but it's significantly more than that per hour because these girls are humping it, right? And I think it comes back to the business model of efficiency and quick. How many tips you can get in a drive-thru? Not many. Because,
no,
right? You're not.
You're not.
But when you pass 10 cores, 10 times the cores, 1,000% more than what a traditional place does. Well, even though they're not tipping worth of shit, you take that ain't worth of shit and you multiply it times 10 times, 100 times the normal amount of cores, it adds up. Mm-hmm. So they come to work at the Rubba Boot. They do it. They're out there in the elements. They have to deal with customers who have been in line for 20, 30 minutes if the line is real long, and they're irritated. I understand, but sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, and they have a lot to deal with. But they do a good job, and because of that, and because we concentrate on being quick, we run enough cars through to where the tips are significant. So I think that's a big piece of it. So there's more than just benefits of running cars through just for monetary purposes for the company, but also for the staff.
Yeah.
So,
but that's because you've created that culture and atmosphere, because other businesses may not have, you know what I'm saying?
You know why? And it comes down to the same thing.
Yeah.
Effort.
Yeah.
It's not easy finding girls that want to do this shit because they work their ass off. Some of these girls are walking like 10 miles in a day because they have little watches and shit. I don't even know where they're at. But no, listen, it's not an easy job. So it always comes down to the same thing. You want to make a good living, you want to make some money, this and that. It takes a little effort, this and that. And the girls that work at our company realize that, and they take it on the chin every once in a while, figuratively and literally. But they like it, and the only other thing I'm gonna say about my employees, because I mean we have 50 now, we're gonna have almost 100 pretty soon. Every single girl has access to my phone, to my cell phone, to my number. So I think it's important. Now it's gonna get to the point to where I have to funnel different, but any girl that works for me can call me at any time and message me. I think that's important.
Yeah.
I don't care what time it is either.
To a point. Eventually it's gonna.
Yeah. Eventually,
but it is given like that's.
Logistically, I won't be able to answer.
Yeah. It's like.
But we do funnel down to the any issues we have, any questions, comments, concerns they have. They talk to the manager.
But it is good that there's like a direct point of contact where if there's an issue, they can come to you. Where it doesn't have to. Something becomes layered, and then you have it just gets,
and it becomes complicated because you
so said this.
I don't want to go around my manager.
Yeah,
it's kind of got to go through my manager first.
Gotcha.
And it's kind of like an appeal, when it comes back to me. But listen, I know every single girl. Well, not everyone. I'll be honest with you. Most of them, because we always have new ones coming in. But I think it's important that communication. What are we doing here? What's our end goal? What's my potential to move up? And that's all communicated, I think, pretty well. I've only been doing this for 5 years, but I'm learning every year. But I think it's just like an organic kind of company, and I think people like that. I think employees like that, knowing that, if you have a complaint at Wendy's, you got to fill out a form that's 40 fucking pages, right?
Yeah.
They have a way to express concerns, and so we take care of our people, and I think we do a good job. There's room to improve, but I think we do a good job with that. I think that's a big thing, though. Yeah. I
think that's probably the most important thing. I feel like when I talk to people, I'm like, look, it's my employees first, the client second, me last. That's kind of my order of operations. I feel like, because I wouldn't even say employees. I would say they're almost like my business partners to some extent, But I think it's important to discuss that, and also like grind, bro. Like most people aren't willing to realize or understand the amount of hours it takes to get to somewhere. Like, so for me, I'm sure you're this way just by meeting you today, and I would say I probably work 60 to 70 hours a week, which is probably not great for me. And like people are like, it's probably not healthy. And I probably sleep on an average for 5 to 6 hours a night if it's a good sleep. But here's the thing. I'm trying to hustle my ass off so in 5 years I can chill out, and this shit's a real old machine.
Sometimes you're just a dog.
And it is. But here's the thing. Most people aren't willing to be that dog, or they're not willing to have the conversation with that dog, or they're not willing to even entertain the thought that that's what it takes to get here.
And I'm glad you said that. Listen, and I'm going to sit here and say, oh, we work hard on everybody. No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, listen, everybody has different goals and aspirations, and that's fine. I mean, that's society. It's great. But I think I do want to accomplish some more things, and the biggest thing that helps me to continue to do what I'm doing, because it's a lot, okay? It's a lot, but I love it, number one. I'm confident in what we're doing. I have really good workers, but the number 4, the biggest key for me is there's one person that always will support me, knowing how I am, and that's my wife.
That's huge.
So she's not like, well, Barret, why are you taking this call at 10 o'clock at night? What you doing? She never does that. So I could say, hey, I'm going to Shreveport, 2.5 hours away, for 3 days because I got some shit I got to get right over here. You know, I got to put my eye on things to see what's going on. Okay, go. I got 3 kids. They got 7,000 basketball games, right? But she don't complain.
Yeah.
She know, and she likes me seeing how happy, because I'm happier now doing what I'm doing than I was forming. You know, I don't have to deal with familial issues and shit like that. But she knows how much I like it. She likes to see me happy doing this, which I am. She sees my passion for it, and she's a dog. Like, she's like, go. I'm gonna take care of the kids, this and that. And she does her thing, but without her being so supportive, I'd still be stuck at one store. I can tell you that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge. This is a lot, man. There's a lot to go to anything, and even once you get it going and operational, then there's a lot more because as you scaled, you have a lot more moving parts. You know what I mean?
I think it in one way it exponentially becomes more difficult in some ways. But in other ways, you're using your previous knowledge to kind of get these split. So I don't know if it's a wash, but yeah, it's just
you're not physically working as much as you're mentally working. You know what I'm saying? Like you replace.
Exactly.
There's some trade off there.
Yeah, and you know, the more volume you move in a business, of course, it's more work.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a lot. But listen, when you enjoy what you do. People say, "Oh, you don't work a day in your life." I don't know about that, but it's work. But
hey, there's some days I don't want to do shit, but there's some, and those are usually the days I have to, and you know,
yeah,
and but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you sign up for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's it. Yeah, what are we gonna do? Just stop? You know? And look, it's just I just think it's important to have like a core base that supports you. I was in a position before where I didn't when I was doing what I did before, and it kind of held me down a little bit. But I think I'm in a place now where I've got support with the family, with the wife, and I've got a couple really good managers. I've got a guy that worked on the farm with me for 5 years, and more than that, probably 8 years, and he's taking the jump with me into retail. And you know, without and listen. I pay the guy well, and you know, in the future I'm gonna pay more. You know why? Because I can trust them.
Yeah.
I've got 2 guys, my manager of some stores over here, and my farm manager who's transitioning to helping, you know, like manage with this guy, like co-managers. And without those guys, it'd be tough, you know. But we trust each other. We got each other's backs, and it all comes down to what you asked before, like, you know, how do you keep these people happy? You just pay them what they're worth.
Yeah.
Just pay them what they're worth. Don't come to me with some shit about McDonald's only pays their guys $50,000 a year. What are we talking about? Pay the guys what they're worth. How much would you lose if they left?
That's the big conversation nobody wants to talk about, especially like if it's a key employee for sure. You have to really look at that, and like you have to look at they need to grow with you. You know, they need to grow with you, and even all the way down to the person who's washing the crawfish pot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They all got, you know.
Yeah.
You got to give them what they're, you know.
That's the biggest thing. Handling these employees, I think that is the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. That's the most difficult thing. But you know, you just learn more. To me, I've learned a lot more every year. So.
Well, what's next? We're opening Bossier in February. What you got you on seasoning coming out yet or something, bro? Got something in the works?
we do have you know, I was using some other seasonings, but we've kind of developed our own.
I was just talking shit for real.
Yeah, we've developed our own seasoning. Nice. I was using several different ones. Of course, I'm not going to name them, but you know, we're mixing, and but we finally kind of dialed it in. You know, it's kind of like don't want to open another store until all these are humming, right? Yeah. I didn't want to take that jump until I felt comfortable that we had a season. So, but it's not. You won't be able to tell any difference. You know, it's just makes it easier because we don't have to mix this shit on site, right? You know, because I was mixing to how I liked it, and I think we dialed it in. But what's next is we're gonna get Bossier going. I'm confident. A lot of people I talk to, they're confident. I think we'll do all right. I think we'll do well. And you already know what the answer is. We're going to open up another one.
Let's go. Where at?
Fucking go.
Where at?
I don't know yet. I was looking down I-20.
Yeah.
I was looking on
both sides?
Both ways. But then I was also looking around the Beaumont area.
Okay.
And where else? You know, I think that's the main. Look a little bit in Houston, maybe in Dallas. Kind of looked at Dallas.
But going that way, man. So there's a need for like Tyler, like.
But listen, here's the thing: if you take the epicenter of where crawfish is, and you just
you can't get too far.
Well,
how far can you get and keep demand?
Right, because how far do we expand this and say there's not a cultural.
That too.
Right. So maybe it's a nuance to them. Maybe it's a.
Bro, I'll tell you this real quick before I forget. A buddy of mine, when the oil fields slowed down and he decided to get out, but it was still booming in West Texas, they went over there and they were slinging crawfish in West Texas, bro. Like they were selling it over there so fast, they would sell out every single day and then they drive back to wherever they were getting it from, and then drive back. Like, dude, it was insane. Like,
so I think there's two issues. Number one, how far when we go out, like I had previously said, does it become a deal like, man, crawfish, like they'll go once a month just because it's crazy. We don't have crawfish. When do you get out to where it's not a cultural thing to eat this shit all the time? Yeah. And so that's number one. But every mile you go, it exponentially becomes more difficult. Yeah. The logistics of it, right?
Yeah, keep them alive.
I mean, all that shit. But the biggest thing is like, you know, if you know you're going to run out, you can't run 6 hours and get them there in time. There's ways to kind of mitigate that, but Dallas I think it would be awesome, but it's just like, how do I know these people aren't just going to be like, wow, crawfish, this is crazy, let's go have it Sunday, and they eat it Sunday, and then they won't come back forever. Yeah. They got people over here in Shreveport, just like South Louisiana, they will come, just like me and my wife do the same shit. We'll eat 3-4 times a week. Let's just go get some. Hey, you want some crawfish? Let's go to the local place and grab some crawfish.
Like pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I was worried about over here, but I found out fast. So I just don't know how much they're gonna eat.
Yeah.
But it almost doesn't matter. The population is so massive, you know. So I just don't know where the boundary is to where people see it as a. I'm trying to think of the name. A product that is looked at as a
commodity.
Yeah, but it's a commodity, like not a nuance, but like I can't think of the word, but just something that's that they'll just do every once in a while because it's
like an impulse, like what's the word we're looking for, Josh? Like something someone does every now and then. It's like not like an impulse buy, but like a
Okay, it's like a nuance, like a nuance item.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, that's only concerns.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not concerned about anything else. But look, I don't know. I just feel like there might be a need, maybe a little bit east and west of here on 20.
I think that way. I think that there's a lot of opportunity
after we're done with this.
Yeah, after we close this off. But yeah, man. Well, look. I enjoyed time today. I mean, is there any plugs or anything before we close out? Anything else?
There's something I want to say. I never thought I'd have a reception like this over here. You know, I really didn't. And without my customers, who I came over here not knowing one single person. I've got hundreds of people I know now. I'll go somewhere and I'll see like scream Rubba Boot, and I recognize these people. They're my customers, right? And, you know, after a little bit of negative publicity, I was down because we did have an unfortunate fighting incident. And, you know, some of it was our fault, some of it was theirs. And that's not and now, unfortunately, everybody's like, hey, you're going to have to fight if you go to Rubba Boot. It's bullshit, man. We done passed 500,000 cars. And one lady that was disgruntled and wanted her money back after she ate all her crawfish, we told her no. And I told her to leave my girls alone. She comes back with her friends and starts a fight on purpose. So one shitty person can make us have a reputation. I have bullshit. It's not going to happen. So to hell with that one person or the few others that tried to do this shit. But for the other 99.99999% of my customers, I want to tell them thank you, because without them, I ain't got shit. I don't have shit. I don't have a pot to piss in if it wasn't for them for this company, right? So I want to thank them for always showing up and I tell them all the time, tell us what do you like, what you don't like. And I encourage that. But that's my main thing I want to do. I want to tell my people thank you. I want to, I want them to know that we will always do the best we can. It might not be good enough sometimes, but we're not just going to pack it up on some days. Oh, I don't feel like bringing another truck up here. I don't feel like, no. They will never find another crawfish company that's gonna work as hard as we do. That's the only thing I can promise. They will never find another company that will work, and I appreciate them supporting us. That's the number one thing I want to get through today. You know.
I like it, and I believe you. And I think everyone else does too, man. I don't think there's no shade there, bro.
Yeah, we try. You know, I appreciate that.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for your time,
man,
bro.
I appreciate you, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
Yes, sir.
All right.